Welcome to Nugget 229 with Steve and Dana Groman, and we were back doing our nuggets again. And in Nugget 228, we started with the question, and it was question number 4 from our middle school and high school students, and it was, I believe the Bible is true, but what if someone you are talking to believes it is not true? How do you convince them? And I know, Steve, you used the example of what the early apostles did. They took the people back to the Creator. But I know you wanted to continue on, and we are going to keep on that vein in this nugget.
Yes, and we covered species a little bit. Most people don't realize I have many articles going back to 2000, I think it is, discussing what a species is. And they don't have a clue what a species even is. So when they try to pin us down because the Bible says everything reproduces after its kind, is that a species? We really don't know where to divide that line, but that's okay. Neither do they. So the fact of the matter is everything does reproduce after its kind. Dogs will always reproduce dogs, and cats will always reproduce cats. You're never going to get a cantaloupe out of a cat. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I like what you just said there, that we don't know necessarily where to differentiate. I mean, we can in general, where are the dogs
Right.
and what are the cattle kind and,
Right.
and beasts and reptiles and all that. If we aren't specific on everything, which I think we probably pretty much are, and they certainly aren't, why are we the ones who get picked on and not them? But anyway, that just struck me when you said that. But how about your jar of dirt here?
Yeah, anyway, another example that I always like to use every service, I tell all the kids, all of you, no matter how old or young you are, bring a baggie of dirt. It's best if it's dry dirt and not clumped up already, but the Bible says the earth was flooded. I have the student who brought in the dirt pour in the dirt into the jar. I have a 2-gallon jug that I usually carry with us, and we fill the dirt up in the jar. And then I will say, okay, now we have an earth, but you can see the different layers, so let's shake it up real well and blend it all in. So now it just looks like one dirt. They brought the dirt in. It's not trick dirt that I have stored somewhere.
Is there such thing as trick dirt?
I don't know, but just I want people to...
Maybe quicksand is trick
Maybe
dirt.
so, but I want them to be at ease with that. Then we put it in the jar and shake it up, and we flood the earth because it was a flooded earth. So I fill water up in the jar above the earth, and we have the recipe and we have a depiction of this. In
well,
one
we've
of our
actually
nuggets.
done a
Yes,
nugget
we've done
on
a nugget
that.
on it, so you might want to check that out. But anyway, then I take a long handle wooden spoon and just stir it in just the first hour of the meeting, as I set the jar right on the table in front of everybody, and everybody watches it settle out into layers every time for them. And it's so fascinating because they see it with their own eyes. I actually did a meeting and everybody had their own jar. So I did not know if it was going to work in small jar, but it certainly did. And everybody got to take home their own jar of dirt that settled out into layers for them. Some of the kids were really, really fascinated by it. The Bible says in Genesis chapter 7, verse 17 through 20, that the flood was 40 days upon the earth. There was a flood on this earth. If the earth is flooded, well, then we should see evidence of it. And we certainly do see that. And, the mountains hadn't risen yet and the valleys hadn't sank down yet. That's all in our nuggets and in our sessions.
Well, we talk about the flood almost constantly,
right.
Because everything that we see everywhere we go is evidence. The whole earth was totally changed from the pre-flood world into what we see today.
Right.
So everything does go back to the flood.
And I show a number of slides of where we've been and actually took pictures with us in it or with our car in it or whatever the case may be, showing the strata layers just like you can simulate in the jar.
And I'm going to stop you here because I think this is really interesting what you talk about the Grand Canyon. And so as a little teaser, we're going to continue on in the next nugget.
Okay.
Thank you.